in the field of the cooperative domain where we trust each other, work with each other. And integration is the physical process where we have systems like communication, networks, which allow us to work. Technology and capability development is a big part of this. So we have this seminar has been put together to understand from the ground up as to what is the technological requirement of the field, army, navy, and air force, and how best can we learn from each other, as also acquire the technologies, train for them, and then change our way of fighting, structures, etc., as required, so that this technology which we are talking about so much is actually absorbed and then used for better warfare. So, as you just saw, the first session which is now continuing, is on the impact of technology. We are learning from our old lessons, and you found that the speakers were also of tri-service, each battalion, Army, Navy, Air Force. Each of them giving their own perspective from their service perspective as to what are the challenges they face and how we need to mitigate these challenges. Tomorrow, we will discuss how to have institutionalized training to absorb that technology and therefore learn from each other. In this particular field, Ran Samvad is only one other event among many others activities which we have done to promote this. I can give a few examples. In Defence Services Staff College, which was earlier run in 3 Army, Navy, Air Force wings, we have now started a joint wing where about 40-50 students as a pilot project sit together and study the same syllabus. If this succeeds, we'll expand it to the entire college. Similarly, in areas where joint training is possible, where all 3 services train on the same thing. Obviously, something specific to a service, only the Army will learn about tanks. But there are certain subjects which all 3 services teach the same thing in a different way. For example, intelligence. So now what we have done is, earlier we had intelligence schools of all 3 services, Army, Navy, Air Force in different places. The Pune was the Army Intelligence School. Now other Navy and Air Force intelligence schools have been closed, and all intelligence training of intelligence personnel, collecting, disseminating, all that is being done only at Pune. These are called joint service training institutes. We have started 3-4 of them: law, cyber, and more are in the pipeline. So this is a continuation of the effort to ensure that whatever we can discuss together, whatever we can learn together and train together, we do it together. It optimize resources and helps bring minds together. So as it was said in the session also, that what we call information warfare or narrative building or cognitive warfare requires a whole of the nation approach. The Indian Armed Forces can give the story, make the story. That is a factual story. But to put the story out there in the correct perspective, so that we can influence minds positively, both internally and globally, is definitely the job of our friends in the media. Because we don't have the tools. We can give you the story like I'm doing now. But to put the story out there, to tell it in the correct perspective, for that we need friends in the media. And that is the reason we want this partnership. And we are convinced that our media is extremely nationalistic in approach and is always out there to assist us in furthering the positive narrative we want to build. And it's only that how much we can quickly tell you the story that you can put it out there. So we are ready for that. And this particular exercise that we are doing in Ran Samvad, we call media in large numbers, is a step in that direction. We want you to listen to our story and tell it to the world.
So your convictions are very well founded. But if I may just push this a little further, are we looking at some sort of media training for senior officers in particular, people who are going to be exposed to the media on a daily job? See, a soldier is trained for war. Right. But this is a different ballgame.
So it's a good point. It's not that it's not happening. Already in various courses of ours, whether it be the higher command, NDC and others, we do have a media capsule. We get persons from the media to try and tell us as to how do we tell the story to the media. What is the requirement of the media? What are the challenges? How do we go about it? We are doing it. We also have officers attending courses in the institute in Delhi on Mass Communication Institute regularly, many times a year, officers of senior. And we are definitely making an effort. As I'm sure those of you who are older in the media would have realized that the engagement we have with the media today is much more. Earlier it was not so much. It was always very guarded. The very fact so many of us have spoken to you and more will is a step in that direction. So we are fully alive both to the power of the media, the positive power of it, and the need that media also has for our stories and the need for us to tell them. And I think that trust is, developing quite quickly now.